Hello, we are live. Good afternoon. Faye Doney, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you're very welcome. We have already our audience. Nick is down there watching us. Hi, Nick. How are you? Thank you for hooking us up. I wanted to thank Nick for introducing me to Faye. Um, Now, I like to talk about a little bit about this program. I've been doing this uh, a conversation with someone special since March 27th. And today, Faye, you are number 88 episode. So,
Hey, that's
yeah,
amazing.
that's a really great number, 88. Chinese people like the number of eight, 88 is a double happiness, a double whatever, lucky. And so I have had fortunate to talk to young Gan as group in a group, and also individual young Gan, and also specialists, educators, lots of composers, artists, conductors, musicians, and filmmakers, many different people. So check my YouTube channel, Juhl Media, and please remember, please, if you can, subscribe my channel. Now, today with us is Faye. Now, Faye is a young gun. Faye is a young gun. I let me to read a very short biography of Faye. Um, Faye Doney is a grassroots crowd-funded nomadic activist who has been traveling the United States for 2 years. She works on the Young and Roundtable podcast, which is a think tank of people from all walks of the finding actionable solutions to heal the country on a systematic level. She has been doing investigative research on the ground level to find the issues at their source. Currently, she is trying to help the dead town of Fort Deposit, Alabama, started a UBI pilot program. Her next journey is to collect physical resources such as tools to bring back to the town to help them rebuild and to give them goods to be trade slash bartered slash donated so they can meet their inevitable human needs. Welcome, Faye. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
So tell us, where are you right now physically?
Currently, I'm physically in Sweetwater, Texas right now. I'm on my way towards Tucson, Arizona. So that's my next stop, but it might take another day or two to get over there. The weather outside is freezing and the heater in my truck broke. So I have been bundled up with tons of hand warmers and stuff to make it through. Sometimes, like, it's Texas. I thought it would be warmer. What's happening? It's frozen. All the trees are frozen. It's beautiful, but it's also like terrifying.
So when you get to Arizona, it should be much warmer, right?
That's the hope for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So tell us your journey. You started in Alabama. This
Mhm.
journey.
Yeah. So I originally my truck broke down in Fort Deposit, Alabama, and I met a local who kind of like showed me around the town and how it was struggling, like hardcore buildings with caved in roofs. I looked at a bunch of different houses in the area. They were literally falling apart, and they were only mobile homes anyway. And I started to investigate, and I was like, oh man, this place needs a universal basic income pilot. And so once I got my truck fixed, I was like, you know what? I want to help this town best I can. And so as a nobody into this town, I kind of have to get them to know me and trust me. But I also have to network with different team members across the United States to make this happen, including Humanity First Movement or the Income Movement. We've had Giselle Huff on our podcast, the Yang Gang Roundtable podcast. So she's also most likely going to be able to help. There's another gal who she's an activist who was in the she was trying to fight for clean water in the same county as me that I was in. So Catherine Flowers is she ended up getting Bernie Sanders to show up to one of these places and check the quality of the water, and it was bad. So I'm going to try and team up with her since she's more of a local than I am, and she knows the area. But as I collect all that information together, I'm going to drive up to Washington State, where my family lives. And for decades, they've been collecting tools to build schools, churches, and houses in other countries. But since they're retiring, they want to get rid of it all. So I believe, based on through some simulations, video games that interact in similar ways that our country does, Minecraft. There's a thing that they did on there where they actually had like take what you need, leave what you can kind of thing happen, and all the factions on the server actually started working really well together. They were healing all these wounds and stuff. And I was like, I wonder if we could replicate that in real life. And my truck has actually been proof of concept for that. So I've been collecting donations as I travel. And occasionally I'll find people that I will like, hey, take stuff. I need to clear out my truck. Take as much as you want. You know, I have like specific things that are like mine. But anyway, so when they take things, more than half the time, they actually donate more to me. And so it's this perpetual like exchange of hands, and it allows people to maybe upgrade their clothing. Maybe they've lost weight or gained weight, so now they have new clothes. Maybe they want jewelry, so now they can wear something nice, or even collect it for a gift. You know, I've got a variety of things that I've collected over the 2 years that I've been traveling. But this time I'll have tools. And so a lot of people can't afford things with cash anymore. And they make excuses not to buy certain things because they're a higher priority. But I also heard about the story called the red paperclip. And this man eventually took a red paperclip and traded it so many times that he eventually got a house. Okay, if he can trade a paperclip for a house, what could I do with a whole truck full of tools, you know? And what could I do for a town? And so I want to test certain theories out to essentially see if it'll work, while I also gain the trust of locals, and, you know, just get other people involved in the story. Why not?
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, now tell us a little bit about where and when did you started to get into UBI on the theory, you know, of the UBI and Andrew Yang.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, I didn't fully get into Andrew Yang until Yang Month of last year, where people flew out to Iowa to help out. I had heard about him from his book, The War on Normal People. So I was already like half a year into road tripping when I heard about him, and had seen him in Portland, Oregon. But essentially, yeah, when I met the Yang Gang, my life totally shifted, and I was like, I am an activist. I'm going to spread the word. So sometimes I write words on my truck. It's a very look at me truck because it's red with like a galaxy painted on the front, and on the back it has clouds. But the camper shell has like 3 windows that are really large, and those windows I can write like stupid stuff for UBI, you know. Right now it's actually movies and games are just simulations with reality distortion filters. Are you a NPC, so like a non-player character? So people who are just kind of stuck in their routine, not doing anything for the world, but they are part of the system. I wanted to see if I could wake people up with little subtle subtle nods to just like, what is reality and can we do something about it, because it doesn't look like it's going any better if we just sit around.
Right.
If you have a truck that's breaking apart, if you had regular maintenance, it might last longer, but if you just run it to the ground, you've caused so much damage, you might need a new car.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, I think in a lot of ways we need a new system in our country, but it has to be invented.
Right. So, could you tell us a little bit about your upbringing, like your childhood?
Okay. Yeah. So I grew up in a small town. Kindergarten through 8th grade, only had 63 students. So it was really small. There were 6 of us in my 8th grade. And I was very isolated from the city and all the things going on in the world. I went to church like twice a week in school. Like that was my life, and video games and playing in the yard. So it was very minimal. When I turned 18, though, I moved towards the city, and that's when I was like, wow, what's happening to our country? How are people acting this way? What is going on? And it was a lot of culture shock. And, but I always feel like I want to add value to people's lives, and, most people are receptive, right? Not everyone's compatible, right?
Right. Right. So, so how is like when you were growing up, right? You say you were in a small town. Did did you grow up in like you always had enough things to have around you, or you are like you're always craving for like somebody else, is has more toys than you do, or more goods than you have? Like what is I was just trying to figure out like how is your activism like has anything to do with how you are brought up?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was there's 4 of us kids, right? We all have different dads. My mom and was married and divorced 4 times. Okay, so we all have different dads, actually. And I was the 3rd in line, so I actually got a lot of hand-me-downs. Well, my grandparents work at a thrift store, and my grandma loves going to yard sales. Okay, and so my grandpa would regularly volunteer at like the church and other things, in order to kind of curb the lack of money that we had. So I feel like I got my needs met, and it wasn't because we had money, because we never had money. Don't dare ask mom for money. like, um, so the only opportunities I had were if I worked in the yard, cutting blackberry bushes. My mom would give me $10 an hour, so it kind of like built that.
That's a good wage.
Yes, but also it got cut up a lot, but that's okay. I was like, I can do this, moving boulders across the yard. It was ridiculous. But I had fun.
Yeah.
But because of the community service that my whole family got involved in, including like when I was 14, I went on a missions trip to Tijuana, Mexico, and helped build a house down there. So I continually had exposure to leaving things better than when I found them. I found creative ways to meet your needs. And I think collectively that has contributed to the character that I am now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. I was just thinking when you were talking about your childhood, and I actually, I grew up, actually had very little material things. You'll think, people in China now, they're very wealthy. People in China's life is actually better than the United States now, that this generation. But when I grew up, it was during Cultural Revolution.
Oh.
Yeah, so all the intellectuals were being punished. My father was locked in the jail, so he eventually was sentenced as a counter cultural revolution. So my mother had to divorce him just for political reasons. So we grew up like with very little money. Like If you want to calculate the Chinese renminbi with dollars, uh, yeah, I had like $2 from my father's childhood support to me, like, so that's
Wow.
nothing. Yeah. But anyway, but you have to convert into Chinese money. So I remember we had no heat in the winter. We had no air conditioning.
We had what do you call it? A fireplace. We had a fireplace. That was our
Oh,
warmth. It didn't
that's
work well.
good. Oh,
It's good
I
for one area.
I love fireplace. Yeah. So we a lot of Chinese people in those era, okay, stay in one room with one family, could be three or four, sometimes
That's a
could be
lot.
three generations, all stay
Wow.
in one room. So in the room, all you see is beds. It's like a campground, and yeah, and you share a kitchen with another five families. You know, yeah, that's how I grew up. And what else? So.
That's a lot of people in a small space.
Yeah. We didn't have heat. We didn't have. I remember because I have to play the violin, right? Because so you play, your hand gets cold, so I have to warm up with some kind of like a hot water bottle, warm it up, and then you go back to practice. So it is that cold. But I think the difficultness of someone grew up in a childhood actually is a it's not a blessing, I would say, but it could be a beneficiary to make them stronger later, because they didn't like grew up in like everything is there for you, right? So I turned out to be okay, and you turned out to be wonderful. So yeah. Yeah. So tell me more. Like once you get to your house, get your tools, and then you're gonna drive back to Alabama?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Do
Yeah.
you have a timeline? Do you have a timeline you need to reach there?
Yeah. So the month of March, I'm going to spend in Washington State, also near Portland, Oregon. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's kind of like my stomping grounds where I grew up, where all my
Mm,
friends and family
mm,
are. Uh, but yeah, that way I will get to see them. I'll try and practice as much social distancing as one can,
mm, mm,
and but I also I want to hit California and a few other places because of the people I'm meeting. I've been very specific about who I'm staying with because certain people are my mentors, if you will. And I've already met a few, and I'm just like, whoa, this is so much information to process, but it's wonderful.
mhm,
Because then I'm stuck in a car meditating on everything they said. So
mm,
it's
mm,
actually quite fun for me
mm,
to schedule people along the route, and I'm like,
mm,
um, but in California, there's somebody who lives out of a tent that is very important to me,
mm,
and they help their parents pay the bills and stuff, including like cell phone and stuff. When I met them, they were collecting food bags for their family, and they needed a ride, and I was like,
mm.
"Yeah, jump on in." Uh, and that was a crazy day, actually. I had someone like who was homeless, like sleeping in the back of my truck because I was like, "Hey, like you need some." Like it was a crazy day. It was like, "Hey, we're gonna go get some food. You want some?" My life's a movie, by the way. It's
Yeah,
crazy. I
yeah,
love it,
yeah.
but yeah. And so since they live out of a tent, though, they want to like level up their property, and so it's like learning how to meet your inevitable basic human needs from a tent if you had property as well. And so they want to get like a giant water tank. They want new equipment like computer and filming equipment. Therefore, they would have the ability to record what they're doing and teach people how to do this because they've been living in that tent for 2 years. I actually stayed with them for a few months and actually donated one of my tents to them. It's like one of those blackout tents. And so you can sleep in. Oh, it's so great. It's not so bright. And ironically, their old tent got used. Okay, this is the fun thing about being a nomad. You could just like leave little hints places and nobody knows you did anything. But there's this Hobbit house that's near LA, and it literally looks like a Hobbit house, right? This guy has been like working on it for decades. And
What is the Hobbit house? Sorry.
a Hobbit house looks like you just walked into a movie where there's like trees, kind of like it's so beautiful. It's art. It is art, but it looks like a tiny little hobbit person was living in it, you know. But so the person who owns it is on hospice care, and the person that's helping them is an artist. And in the backyard, they wanted to make a dragon, and they're like, "Hey, that used tent that you're getting rid of from and replacing with yours, can I have that? Can I use it for this dragon at the Hobbit house?" I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, you know, intertwining people's stories and they don't even know it simply because of where I got the stuff.
Yeah. So I saw your Facebook here and there. At one point, I remember you said you want to make a film. Tell me about it, that idea.
Okay, so my life already feels like its own film. Okay, I've been following Joseph Campbell's what do you call it? Hero's journey as an outline. And it pretty much draws like where you're going to have turmoil, and it prepares you almost like it's like a template to follow. And I think it's also how you can make like global change. Simply, if you think about movies like Harry Potter or Star Wars, it wasn't just the one person who went on that journey. It was the whole planet, you know. And I want to replicate that here by going on my own journey. And so, but I've also been on the ground investigating a lot of things. I've talked to hundreds, thousands of people, heard their stories. I've collected a lot of film, but I don't know what to do with it or how to put it together. I've had to literally teach myself everything. I had unplugged from technology while traveling because it's just hard to be on technology when you have no Wi-Fi. And so I'm going to layer my research with my journey, and I don't know, I'm going to make it playful to also interconnect other people as well. My main focus is going to be on universal basic income, how to get that, even if you're just a nobody who happens to have a truck. It doesn't mean you can't do it. You just have to get creative. It also means you need to learn how to fundraise. How do you fundraise? You have Patreon, GoFundMe, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. But then you have to be on other sites like Twitter and TikTok and Twitch, you know? And then now you have all these passwords, right? And you're like, God. Anyways, you know, I've been able to meet incredible people. And once I met the Yang Gang, I was able to find housing easier, where it wasn't such a struggle. And now people want to see me, so I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going on tour.
Yeah. So if you guys wanted to find out Faye's social media, it's in the description below. Her Twitter, her Facebook, right, and her TikTok. Many of her social media information is down there. Yeah, so that's wonderful. So now, when you say, excuse me, you collected films, may I ask, like, how did you shoot? Did you shoot with this smartphone or something else?
Yeah, so I used an iPhone for filming, which actually is really difficult to transfer your files over because there's like a lot of encryptions in the iPhone. So it's a headache.
Wait. Excuse me, dear. Which version of iPhone you have? May I ask?
iPhone 10.
10 is good. So
Yeah,
what's
but
so
I can't
difficult?
transfer the files over without it having an error.
Oh, okay. So one
Yeah.
of the best way, I made this my Yangon diary, right?
Oh
This
yeah, it's
feature
beautiful.
thing. The whole thing is shot on iPhone.
That's good. That's
So
promising.
Yeah. So one of the way of to transfer iPhone footage is, do you have an Apple Mac? Do you have a Apple computer? You don't?
Windows, that's probably
Okay.
why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to have an Apple computer. Yeah, that's what it is. So you need to have an Apple computer. Then all you need to do is to share file. You just click on all the videos on your iPhone you shot. You just click share. The square thingy. With the arrow, and then we'll just share onto your Apple. Okay, on your Mac computer.
That
That
sounds much easier than what
yeah,
I'm going through.
yeah.
It's so
That's one way.
incompatible.
Yeah. Another way is you that well, I do spend money. I buy iCloud. So all my footage is on iCloud. I spend like $10 a month, which is not too bad, not too bad.
I have
So all
so
my
much content though. I think I would have
yeah.
to spend more than $10.
No, dear. $10 a month gets you 2 terabyte space
Oh,
on iCloud. That
that's
is
not bad.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. I think that's good, because the way I figure I need to do that, because I worry about, like, someday my phone will drop and dead, or someday my phone will be stolen. So once I hook up everything with iCloud, I'm not really worried about it. Buys me a uh, peace of mind. However, when I try to upload all the footage, I have 100-hour plus of footage. When I try to upload all these footage back
J-
to my hard drive, because I need to edit on my Apple computer, right? I use Final Cut Pro. So when I have to do that, it took me 4 days to upload all the footage,
Wow. Yeah,
because
it's probably going to be similar with me.
you know why? Because it does not let me drag the whole 100-hour of footage into my hard drive. It does not do it. It just refused to do it. So I have to manually do it, 7 footage at a time. Can you
Man.
imagine?
Yeah.
That's why it took
Well,
me 4 days.
so I have ADHD a little bit, and to me that just sounds like, ugh. Like, ugh. Well, it's a big
Yeah,
commitment, man.
yeah. But you know what? Another thing is, I recommend you can actually edit your film on your phone just by using iMovie.
Mm.
But you do need to Wi-Fi though, because you need to go to a coffee shop, whatever. Because I don't think you could do iMovie in your home without Wi-Fi. So I made more than 100 short films by using iMovie on my phone.
Okay, so I have this ginormous learning curve already with technology. I just got my computer to where I could work on it, and now I'm being
Yeah.
told I probably should have an Apple computer. I'm like, I don't even know how to use those.
Oh,
And so I'm just
Apple's
like,
so easy, so
yeah,
easy.
yes. But so the other thing I have to do is, like, when I want to obtain anything, I have to
Yeah,
go on a quest for it. I can't just buy things, okay?
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah,
literally have to go, okay, so
yeah,
here's the goal, and I got to do
yeah,
ABC through Z to
yeah,
just
yeah,
get
yeah,
like one thing, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
which is okay. I actually quite enjoy that,
yeah. Mm.
except people are like, why don't you already have all this great equipment? I'm like,
Good question.
uh, so I was talking to my friend Faye, and she's just like, we are like the punk rock of podcasts, because we've literally had to just like scrounge together all we can and just like make do with what we have, because we have terrible sound quality, we have terrible like, we're upgrading, don't get me
Mm.
wrong, like you can
Yeah,
literally see us leveling up and it's so
yeah,
beautiful,
yeah.
but like, also be patient with us. And they're like, other people are like, why don't more people watch this? I'm like, because most of us are in extreme poverty and we don't have the mental bandwidth to do
Uh,
any of it.
uh,
But it's
yeah,
like so raw. It's like,
yeah,
yes, we have these things in our lives that matter,
yeah,
such as family, right? We can't just leave them. Some of
yeah.
them are caretakers, some have like health issues. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter, right? We're all just like, who cares? Don't tell us what we can and cannot do. Here's our
Right.
podcast. And the amount of people that we've had come on our show are just like, they're amazing, but they're from every walk of life you could picture, you know. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes I'll just like meet people on my travels. I'm like, hey, you want to come on a podcast?
Yeah.
um,
So is your a podcast is just audio, right? Do you have a session where you have video and audio? Can we share with our audience now? Do you have something?
yeah, you could go to the website,
Okay.
YGRT
Okay.
podcast.com. And we do have several different platforms you can watch it on. And there is video.
Sorry. YG. Sorry. RT.
RT
RT. Yeah. That's it.
podcast.
Podcast.
Podcast.com.
Okay.
It
Let
kind of
me
looks like
see.
the word yogurt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um,
Let me see. YG. Oh, I'm not getting it. Sorry. YGRT. POA.
D
Right?
D
POD. Yeah. Podcast. CAST. Right?
.com. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Young Gang Roundtable. Okay. I saw a
Yeah.
bunch of things. Should I? Uh, okay. So the bunch of videos also. Which do you want me to pick one, or should we just?
Anything will do fine. I
Okay.
mean, we've had lots of people on before, but um,
Yeah.
literally, we have a rotating regulars of like 15 people who come in. We film on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I haven't been on the last 2 weeks because I've been traveling.
Yeah.
But you know, it is kind of cool because I feel so official. So give me a second. I got.
Go to podcast. Okay. So I see.
Doesn't it look all official?
Yeah, 167 episode with Wendy Hamilton.
Oh yeah, Wendy Hamilton.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful soul, that's for sure. She's been on
Yeah.
the podcast a couple times, I think. She was a spiritual advisor to Yang, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So let me see. Let me go back to us. Let's see if I can share just a little bit of share screen and here, and then again podcast, and then with audio and this. Okay, so here is this the newest one.
This is audio only, but I think that's okay.
Okay, just a little bit.
Well, sometimes in the beginning we just
the
chat.
Round Table. It is 2:17 p.m. Sunday, February 7th, 2021. We have Ariel, Faye Koo, Izzy, Mia, Refluence, myself, and our guest today is Reverend Wendy Hamilton for the second time on the show. Thank you so much for coming back. It's great to see you. You look in good spirits. We're all happy to be here. So, yeah, you've been here before. You know what the show's about. How are you doing?
Again, I'm doing much better now that I can see all of you and navigated all of the technology that I was telling Faye. I had her on the phone like, they're trying to make you go through all these verification steps. Prove you're not a robot. They sent me like 8 things.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
God.
just a
You
process.
probably failed a couple.
And yet the robots still get through sometimes.
Yeah. So I wanna go find one with the video of you
Yeah.
in it. So let's see. We have home. Okay. Sorry.
I haven't been on the last 6 episodes because we do 3
Oh,
per
okay.
weekend. So if I'm
Oh,
gone
okay.
for 2 weeks, like that's a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of episodes.
Yeah. So you have some episodes of from like even in Google, I can see it like Shael Riley. Who's that?
He's pretty much the producer on the show.
Okay.
He puts it together.
Oh, okay.
Really
Okay.
incredible guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What a
And-
visionary.
Oh yeah. So how about I type in your name, Faye? Okay, I'm just trying to find the episode. There you have. Oh, I see that with you. Let's see. How about this one? No, this one. Oh, you are on Twitter. Trump dismissed yet another stimulates proposal. People need that money. People are not making it. So you have a video on Twitter.
I've made many videos on Twitter.
Okay, let's see. Can I see it? So let's see if I can. Oh, okay.
Actually, it's interesting because I've been on many different people's podcasts.
Yeah.
Izzyland podcast. I've been on Ariel's. Well, actually, I guess it's revolutionary thinking is his thing.
Yeah.
I've been on. Shaving with Tully.
Yeah.
But I think a few people rebranded, and so they just removed a lot of interviews. I think mine is one that's been removed there. But yeah, just a bunch of different people's podcasts. I'm like, hey, can I jump on? Karen, a Careworth podcast.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like it's hard to do the editing when you're traveling, and so I just was like, hey, what if I just show up on other people's who do the editing already? I got content.
Right.
We'll add value to each other's lives.
Yeah. Shall we play this? Do you mind play that? Do you mind man.
Wow, look how many views that one got. I got emotional. It's okay.
334. Okay, this one. Can you see?
Well, it says 10K views, yeah.
Oh, 10K view! Oh my god!
I decided to watch Paget Kagi on YouTube and her video about Trump denying yet another stimulus.
I'm so emotional.
Honestly,
it's real.
How can we let one man's ego destroy the lives of everyone we love and care about? It breaks my heart. I've been fighting so hard for universal basic income because everybody I love is suffering. And they've been traumatized by the whole fucking system that we live in. There's corruption everywhere. And there's no end in sight. We need this money. People aren't making it.
It looks like it froze. Oh, okay.
We can make the world a better place, guys.
It's okay.
You know, it takes 2/3 of the population to override anything he does. But no, we can't fucking agree on anything. I'm not gonna stop fighting. But I hope one day you guys can have your basic fucking needs met.
Thank you. Yeah, that was wonderful. Very very raw, very real, and
I was at my wit's end. Like, just, I mean, I was excited that the people I care about were about to get money, and then when I found out they weren't, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I broke down.
Yeah.
The lighting on my phone for a while, it was cracked, and so like that was its own quest to fix my phone screen.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So what is the what is the situation right now? What are we waiting for? Are we waiting for 1400 now, with like conditions of for children now, like for the government?
Well, that's not unconditional, is it? Right? It's still means tested. Still all these things that, so I personally fall through a lot of cracks in the system, right? Simply, I don't have an address unless I use my mom's, okay? And I'm not there because I travel. I don't qualify because I'm not staying in one spot for any services. But I mean, you could get like a food stamp card from, say, California and spend it in other states. But yeah, I've got bad credit, so it's not like I can just take out a loan. And so all these things I want to do in my life, like the world's like, psh, you don't get money. You can try, but you don't get money. Do it without money. I'm like, okay. But also, if I can learn things, I can teach things. So if I can learn how to get myself out of these little cracks in our system that I've fallen into, it means I can help other people. As far as what we're going to be getting, I mean, I still think we need $2,000 a month for every citizen. And when I travel, some people come up to me all the time. I mean, my truck kind of announces that I'm a nomadic activist, you know, but they come up to me and they talk, and sometimes they're just talking about the drugs they're doing. I'm like, okay, that was last night. Some like guy like came up to my window and started talking about like the drugs he was doing and like how I was like, can I help you? I have food. Do you need food? He's like, well, I got this hotel, and he's like offering me to stay there. I was like, I'm good. Thanks though. You know, it would have been warmer than my truck, that's for sure, but not safer. And so, but then, you know, the question becomes like, would $1,000 a month help you? And I do try to ask that to all these people. I encounter a lot of people who are deep in coping mechanisms because they can't meet their inevitable needs. And that leads to health problems, which leads to more poverty because you go to the doctors. And it's just this vicious cycle of taking people's money. I think if we literally took all the money for cancer research and gave it to people, it would help heal some of the cancer. It's kind of crazy, but I think it would. Because then we could, like, you know, have a roof over our head, make sure we're fed, maybe even entertained a little bit so that we're, like, living a life that we want for ourselves.
Right. Do you have a picture of your truck?
Let's see. I do. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I love my truck, by the way. It's almost iconic at this point.
Yeah. So the truck is big, right? Like how big it is? Like does it? How much gasoline does it take?
Actually, it's a tiny truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it holds like 12.5 gallons, maybe a little more.
Really?
But not like a ton more.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But it gets like 20 to 25 miles per gallon, so actually it gets great gas mileage.
Oh, okay.
But again, it's like a smaller truck. I make do. I used to have a little utility trailer attached to the back of it.
Yeah.
But that got stolen, so I don't have that anymore.
Oh, no.
But I painted my truck to look like it, so maybe one day it'll come back to my maybe come back to my possession. Become a scavenger hunt for the United States. Hey, you guys, if you see a Nebula painted utility truck, that's mine. Yeah, but also when I travel, I leave little things with like, I call it art by Doney, and essentially like a few of my friends have found like my art in the wild. They're like, wait a minute, that looks like my friend's, and it totally is. Yes. My internet is being super slow. I'm trying
Okay, I found something on your YouTube, on your Facebook, but I didn't see a truck though. I see a lot of nice pictures.
I take a lot of, I don't even post most of the pictures I take.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think you're just gonna have to find it. My internet's not fast enough for this.
Oh, okay. Can you see this?
Oh yeah, that's tarot reading at a hog.
Tarot reading! You know how to do that?
Yeah, I can read your tarot right now if you wanted.
Yes, please do.
Okay.
How does it go? Do you have to know my birthday, which I'm not telling you?
All I would need is a question that you want answered, and I could just pull one card if you want.
Oh, okay.
And then, so the question has more power if you say it out loud. And yes and no questions are harder to answer, but not impossible. Yeah. So you have a question you want to ask the universe?
Oh, ask a question of universe.
Or whatever in your life.
Yeah.
What is?
Okay. I don't know. Why can all of us be non-judgmental?
So what do we need for all of us to be non-judgmental?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This will be an interesting read. All right. Okay. So here's the cards. I'm just shuffling them, putting the energy of the question. She wants to know how we can all be non-judgmental. All right. Just going to spread them out. Sometimes I do it differently. This is how I'm doing it today. So, all right, this is the one.
Yay.
So the card is Knight of Swords.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to cheat and use my little booklet. Skill, bravery, capacity, defense. Address, enmity, wrath, war, destruction, opposition, resistance, ruin. So, to me, see, I really wish I had my other one I use. There's a certain way to read cards where you can do all positive and work people into a more solution-minded decision, because there's a part in our brain called the reticular activating system. Mm-hmm. And its only job is to find evidence for whatever you believe, right? If you think, I am a genius, even if you're an asshole, you'll find evidence for being a genius, right? Because that's just your brain activating. It might be the core of narcissism, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But also, there's, if you think you're an idiot, your brain's going to be like, all right, I'll find evidence why you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. And so, yes. I have a certain one I like to use. But that way, when you ask the question, you've brought something to your forefront of your mind, and it's just confirmation bias, essentially. But you can interpret it, because all the deck is doing is it's got every little bit of life, and everything can contribute to it. So I accidentally somehow stumbled into a Trump rally, if you were, or not, like a Trump event. Like, this particular person I'm reading tarot for is one of the people who like managed other people trying to help Trump. And I was like, interesting. I ended up giving them this tiny little bottle with a little clue in it, and I wrapped some fabric, and it was an old piece of paper I found, and it says clue 1, and then I won't tell you guys the clue, but they do exist. There's more than one. And I really hope that maybe one day they will find a different path. But I thought it was like a playful way to like play with the universe, and also like send someone towards universal basic income.
Right.
Decisive, impulsive, political, fights for the underdog. So the way that we can be non-judgmental is to work with the people who are doing the things we hope to accomplish, despite the improbability of them actually doing it. So don't be crabs in a bucket. Don't pull other people down just because they're not there yet. Like, root for them, cheer for them. And I think that is how we can do it. Yeah. See, when I read that version, it's so much better. Because when I read tarot, and I use like a book with me all the time. Also I have a puppet named Marshmallow Unicorn, and sometimes I just take it out on walks. There's me with some bears. There's me with Stan Lee. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. My truck isn't there. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't see any truck. So you need to add a truck, okay?
Well, I have it. I do have it.
You
I
just
think
don't have it.
if you
Yeah.
just go to my profile and the what do they call that? Cover photo might also have it. Yeah, that's
photo.
part of the truck.
Album. Yeah, there's a lot of it. It says album, and then here, album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to do like free art lessons for some people, and then lots of adventures before the pandemic happened. I mean, I still do, but I don't post about it as much. But the album cover would have been probably something.
Yeah, I didn't see any. This is called photo of Faye. Photo. Oh, two the same thing. Photos of Faye. Sometimes they organize. Oh, here we go. No, is that your car?
The white one is not my truck.
Oh, okay.
That might be Kismet 2.0. So my truck's named Kismet, and I want to upgrade it. So I'm thinking about what I would do to a truck like this. It would give me more room in the back to sleep and or carry things.
Yeah.
But also, I want to get a trailer and paint it to look like a treasure chest. I bet you if you keep going down, though, you might find my truck.
Yeah. So, what's the story of this path?
Oh, there's a couple.
So, what's the story of this?
So I got it right here even. I wanted to have my own press pass because I think podcasts need to be taken seriously as a form of media that people can find reliable information. Because right now news channels, like they might be providing information, but it's not very reliable. And so I just I wanted to have something for credentials, if you will. And that way, if I do come to somebody and like, hey, I'm doing a thing, I want to promise you I'm serious about this. And if I have that, they'll take me at least a little more serious. But any journalist can make their own. You could also go to a police station and get one from them, a press pass. So you can go behind like, caution tape and stuff, to report on things.
Yeah, I have one.
But this is more like limited capacity. Not everyone's gonna follow through with that. There's some of my truck right there.
Where?
If you just passed it.
Oh, sorry.
Keep going.
Oh, right here. This one. Huh?
Yep, that's one of them. So, like, that's how big the window is. I have, like, curtains in the back, so, like, you can see it. It's really sunny, though. There's, like, such a shadow on it. But there's, like, two others next to it as well. There you go.
The one? This is the one?
Yeah.
Oh, right now?
You can't see the hood very well, but the hood actually has, like, it's a nebula. It's pink and blue clouds and stars. Nebulas are the birthplace of stars. And on the back of my truck, I have clouds. So I feel like I'm constantly shooting for the stars as I travel. It's great.
Very nice. Nice. So this, like, you can put a lot of stuff. It's pretty long. Yeah. I mean.
It's long enough for my body, but just barely, right? And I cut up some styrofoam and I put a bed in there, so that was
fun. Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
So great. So let's let me go back to you, and so let's talk about a little bit about the. You're talking about like a clean water. Oh, noisy. Clean water, like environmental things you wanted to do.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to make sure towns have clean water. As I've been traveling, I noticed like some people are like, "Hey, don't drink the water. You'll have diarrhea." Like I'm like, "Oh, that's not good." But like. In Fort Deposit, Alabama, there was a story I heard where this guy was like, well, I felt like I was about to die drinking the water because it was like all white and foamy. I was like, okay, so let me investigate that. And it wasn't until the very end of my stay there that I actually got test strips for the water because I couldn't afford them. So I didn't get to necessarily test too much water. I did like one place. Where's Waldo? UBI edition. Where's Kismet? I love it. A lot of people say where in the world is Faye all the time. But back to the water. Yeah. So the concern is people should be able to drink their tap water, and they're not. And when this guy said he didn't have good water, I was like, okay. So I asked some other people in the town, and they were like, well, the water's good. Oh, we just switched over to a different city water. Maybe during the shutoff is when he was trying to drink that water. I was like, okay, well, then we have a different concern on our hands. We need technology with better reception that sends out an alert system so that people know not to drink the water. I mean, if that did kill him, like, you would be responsible for that. I didn't say that bit, but I mean, technically, you know, they're like, well, we did try to get the word out. And I'm like, okay, I believe you. But, you know, obviously it's not as effective as you were hoping it would be. And other things in this town I investigated, they're like, well, you know, we have all the services. People, if they wanted their needs met, they should be able to get them met. We have all the things. Well, I went to City Hall, and they're like, well, we're painting our City Hall, and so the board that has all that information isn't available right now. I was like, oh, that's convenient. But also, I was like, do these people know how to access that information? Have they tried it? Like, is it actually effective? And in their mind, like, yes, yes, yes. And I'm like, but what I'm seeing with my own eyes does not confirm what you're saying. And so, but the bigger concern I have is that when we take out loans, money is debt, right? We have a negative amount, and then a positive amount is created. But the loan, they actually tack interest on it, but they never make that money. So anybody who has to pay into interest, like, is causing us problems, because we literally, if everyone tried to pay off their debts, it would literally be impossible. So if it's impossible to pay off this money, then what are we doing to pay off that money? Right? Maybe people are selling their bodies. Maybe they're selling drugs. Maybe they're doing all these terrible things that, like, they sell their dignity is what they do. Mm-hmm. And so that's like such a small thing. But the reason why UBI is important is we can meet our inevitable needs without having to go into debt, right? So because now you need debt for a house loan, a car loan, education loan, blah, 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 blah. And so everything requires a loan. It's no wonder why we don't have any money. So it's a little concerning, but I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I fight for UBI, is because there is a flaw in our algorithm, and we are a snake eating itself at this point. So
yeah. So where were you? You know, tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of Andrew Yang quit his campaign. Where were you last year? This time?
I was in Las Vegas at the Sorority of Yang house. Everyone was watching the TV. Actually, the very first shot of your documentary is I was in that room. Yeah. Very first shot, but you couldn't see me. I was off camera.
You were in New Hampshire.
No, New York.
Oh,
or not New York. Sorry, Las Vegas. I don't know why I said that.
Oh, Las Vegas. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you used a clip. I think it was who was in that shot? Now I'm blanking. I don't know. There's a couple of people I recognized. I was like, oh, I was in that room. And that was fun watching the documentary, because I was like, I was in that room, off camera there. I was in that room. I was like I Spy for myself. But
oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So you were in Las Vegas on February the 11th.
Actually, I think I'm thinking of a different documentary. The Calvary one, the first shot. Okay. Yeah, because this was all your shots.
Yeah. I didn't go to Las Vegas. Yeah. But anyway, so so were you prepared to listen to the news of he is suspending?
Man, it was such a devastating moment. But okay, I gotta explain this day though. It was incredible. Okay, you don't even know about this day. magic happened on this day.
Oh, really?
So,
Tell me.
yeah. So I went from Vegas to San Diego where my truck was because I had flown out to Iowa, and I was like, I'm going to bring my truck. My truck has everything. Okay. So I get there. Within 1 hour of getting there, Yang drops out. And I was like, oh, crap. Now what? You know, like I just got here and I even brought somebody else from like the area to like come help out. And now it was like done. Right. And everyone, like I'm crying, everyone else is crying. There's a ton of people in this house. Okay. I'm being dramatic. Not everyone was crying, but everyone was pretty devastated. Right. And then Danny is somebody who is part of the Yang Gang. And she gave this really intense, powerful like speech of like, this is just the first phase or whatever she said. We like on to the next. And it was just really like rallying the energy, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, well, I'm here now and I have my truck. And I was showing a photographer a bunch of my stuff in my truck because I was excited to show off my truck. Nobody had seen it.
Yeah.
And but I have stuff for party. I have like lights and costumes and like tapestries and wigs. Okay. So I start bringing in a bag at a time or whatever, right? And so as people are like starting to lip sync to, well, not lip sync, they're like singing karaoke to songs very dramatically. And we have this giant box of Yang bucks, okay? Not just a small box, it's huge, okay? Full. And so now it's been raining Yang bucks for like forever. The floor is littered with Yang bucks, okay? And we're just like, you know what? We did a great job. We're going to celebrate how amazing we did. And so, but then I'm like handing Danny this like leopard print trench coat thing, and like there's a rainbow wig or in a red wig, and like there's it was just magical. And like I just provided like lights and everything, and people like, where did this even come from? Right? Because nobody even knew about my truck was even there, right? I'm just like, bloop. Hey guys. And yeah, like we're standing on chairs and we're just like making it rain. It was glorious.
Wow.
And people were almost like scared to record it because they're like, are people going to misinterpret our like celebration of this? No, we're just having fun, man. So there's actually not a lot. There is footage. It does exist out there of this, but there's not much of it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, I was in with many young men in New Hampshire that walk into a arena or some kind of a conference room in Manchester and had drinks, and then the next thing though, I was like holding my phone, live streaming. The quality is so bad, looking bad, because everybody's live streaming probably,
Right.
the is too small. So but anyway, so I didn't even know what I was doing, and then the next thing I know is like NGO said he's suspending, and I kind of like I felt nothing for a while, because it was like unreal, like I was in a
Right.
denial, like this is not happening, so I was not like other people crying or whatever. I was just busy interviewing people, but I was not that sad at the moment. I think the sadness kicks in later on.
You know what's interesting though? Literally in that moment, he activated a lot of people that started manifesting his like stuff into this reality. And then just during this last year, I've been scouting for them, and guess what? I've been helping them find each other. It's amazing. And so also just other projects people have put together, I'm like, you guys need to learn about each other. And that's also the beauty of the Yang Gang Roundtable podcast, because it's just whoever, right? And so many pet projects have come out of the podcast simply because people learned how to do the things they needed to do, including technology, right? And then they also learned how to, I don't know, just do things, how to make profiles, how to use your equipment, everything. And so it's kind of been like a teaching platform as well. But yeah, and then just how much he activated people has been incredible. But a lot of people fall into depression. They're like, I'm not even I don't even exist anymore on trying to help. And I was like, yet.
Right. So, shall we play the 2 minutes of a intro of my film?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yes. Your film is so good.
So I made a lot of short films during the canvassing for for during the last year, and then I had a lot of footage I have not used, so I started to edit them sometimes in September, more serious maybe after October sometimes. So within 4 months, I built a documentary, feature documentary. Right now is 80 minutes, and it got a couple of selections for film festival.
I saw what you posted today. That was exciting. You should tell people about it.
Yeah, I got best documentary feature by Rome International Film Festival.
That is so
And
cool.
yeah, and I got selected by Montreal Film Festival, Montreal Independent Film Festival, and I also was selected by New York Film Festival as a selection. And four things. Another thing is New York Cinematography Award finalist. Yeah,
That's
so
so wonderful.
I didn't really,
Congrats.
thank you. I didn't really, plan this is all kind of just happened in terms happened meaning I went to canvas for Andrew Yam with the other young gang. My main partner is Nick Rivera. I did not plan to make a film out of that. I just went and I just kept filming and filming and filming with my iPhone.
I feel like I filmed more of my puppet, Marshmallow the Unicorn, than I did anything else. And I know that sounds stupid, but I gotta say, I use it as a tool,
Yeah.
and the tool is to like promote politics in a way that's like funner and more receptive.
Oh yeah.
Also, you'll remember a unicorn puppet more than maybe some random person you met, So
Yeah. So
all right, let's see it.
So we're gonna play this 2 minutes. I call intro because it's the beginning of the film. It's not a real trailer yet. I wanted to shout out for Nell Nievius to design this cover for me.
Oh, he's so talented. Man,
Yeah.
that man is in everything, though.
I
He's in
know.
everything.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's his idea. He asked me to take a picture of myself, with my phone. Just recently, this is a recent photo. It's not last year's. Then I sent it to him. Then he mixed with other, like I gave him like a 6 maybe photos. So he mixed this whole thing. So let's see. So this is called my Young and Diary intro.
I got mail. My name is Ching Juhl. I have a passion for capturing events. Today, I'm gonna meet Andrew Yan for the first time.
Why you looking crazy? And the demons fill me up, got me feeling hazy. All I got is the light, him keep me up like a thief in the night, him creeping up. I can feel it in my soul, something changing.
Know that what we did to the manufacturing jobs, we will now do to the retail jobs, the call center jobs, the fast food jobs, the truck driving jobs, and on through the economy. Andrew Yang! Andrew Yang! And I'm going to be offering real solutions. Americans will immediately see the difference, and that's how we're going to win in 2020.
A closing statement that was perfectly crafted, got to his main stuff, and told you why he's different and why that's good and why it goes to the question of electability. Andrew Yang.
I am that candidate. I can build a much broader coalition to beat Donald Trump. It is not left. It is not right. It is forward, and that is where I'll take the country in 2020.
Staring back at me, something familiar in the things I see. Heart beating fast, I don't wanna be Standing here when he comes for me. Can't look up, babe. It's scaring me. Feel like something's coming after me. Something coming after me.
That's it.
It's so wonderful. I can't wait for more people to see your work. It's so inspiring to me because like that, you know, feeling like you're not good enough kind of thing, like, oh, I'm just what makes me, I don't know. But it makes me want to actually put something together.
Yeah.
But
Please
I think my biggest hang up is the technology makes me go bonkers, and
Mhm.
so it holds me up.
Yeah, I know, but you just have to do little at a time. I would really recommend you to use iMovie. Is a free app on your iPhone, and learn to edit with iMovie first, because it's much easier than Final Cut Pro. It's much more accessible. Yeah, and then you can you can go into my YouTube channel. Lots of yeah movie I made video made last year during the camping. It's all done on iMovie.
Downloading now.
Ah! Okay, yeah, you should do that, and just starting to do little project at first, like I want to make one suggestion is, I know I see a lot of film of you do vertical. When you do, try to do horizontal when you shoot yourself.
Yeah, it depends on where I'm at.
Right.
I've been trying to remind myself to do horizontal because I know that's important.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just vertical. If I'm in my truck, it holds easier,
Yeah.
upright.
Yeah.
Because whatever.
But you know what you could do is watch some of my videos. I talk when I'm driving, and you can just put a clip on your car, right, on your dashboard, and it sucks on the on the dashboard on the
I have one actually. The problem I have is my door doesn't close all the way, and there's a lot of wind because I had to, pry it open when I locked my keys in the car multiple times.
Okay. I see.
So it's just very loud. It's actually really hard for me to talk while I'm on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, audio is a problem.
But if I get Kismet 2.0, my truck 2.0, it might be doable. And I have a couple of friends that are actually mechanics that are in Washington that have offered their services to help me find a vehicle. And I just found out, just like yesterday, that my stimulus checks that I never got actually might be at my mom's house, which is where I'm heading. So I'm like, I might have money when I get home.
Yeah, that's great.
But I haven't been home in like a year, man. Since this pandemic started, I have not been up to Washington. So,
wow.
I think part of it is I've been kind of avoiding them because I didn't want to get them sick,
Yeah, I know. So, so we are almost up to time. Shall we do the rapid fire before we leave, or do you have any other issues you wanted to touch?
I want to do a quick shout out to an event that I'm going to be hosting here soon. So it's called Rebirthing Man. So not Burning Man, Rebirthing Man, like mankind. And it's a nod, but I think we need to step into a self that we want to, the chrysalis becoming the butterfly, if you will. And so I encourage people to just, on Valentine's Day, maybe write out like an obituary of yourself and like to allow yourself to like come to terms with the life that you've lived so far up to this point, and then just burn it. It doesn't have to be posted anywhere, right? But that way it allows you to step into a newer version of you and set new intentions. And you can do this at home, right? But the event is going to be like the big ceremony, if you will be on Valentine's Day at Harquahala Ghost Town in Arizona. So, I mean, it's probably only going to be like 3 of us. That's okay. But there will be music and a bunch of stuff, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So your friend asking you, can't your mom just send you the money digitally?
Okay, I've asked my mom if the checks were there, and she's like, "Oh no, but there's a different check." And I was like, "What?" Okay, but my mom doesn't know technology. Okay, like my family is only just learning tech.
Yeah. So I want to thank our audience have been with us, and thank you very much for watching us and making comments. Please do not forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, and you have a YouTube channel too, right?
You know, I don't use it very often.
Okay.
So I would rather people check out my my Linktree website. It has links to like all of my stuff, and I'm open source. So if you want to steal any creative content and make it your own and make a buck off of it, please do. Like, I don't care, right? I got content for days. You see pretty pictures you want to use in the background of something, take it. So Linktree, so there's dot before the E's, and then backslash Tisdoney, TISDONEY.
Can you
And
send it to me in the private link so I put it up?
okay.
Do we not have it in our description?
It might be there, but
Okay.
I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, just send to me in the private link.
Okay.
Then I can send it out. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think it's probably in. Yeah, it's in the description. But I send it out anyway.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to me and you have ideas on how we can heal our country, like, hey, you know, I know who needs to talk to who, or I'm looking for them too. I'm doing a lot of scouting. So I'm always receptive to that. And also, I have a few things that could be delegated at this point. So, yeah, but if you still want to do the rapid fire questions, we can if it's too late. Okay.
Let's do a quick one. Okay. What's your favorite color?
Aqua blue.
Aqua blue. What is your food genre? Favorite food genre?
I like Chinese food, but like the deep fried stuff.
Deep fried. Yeah. So, if you have won a lottery for $20 million, what would you do?
Oh man, I would definitely delegate a lot of tasks to people. I have a 30-year vision for my life, and a lot of it just needs money to like fund them. So I could just like start a million projects. That would be great.
Yeah. So anything in your life, if you had a time and resources you want to learn, like as a skill, like any skill you can think of it from top of your head.
I would. Ooh. Oh, that's so difficult because I teach myself a lot of things. You know what? No, I want to learn how to sing. I don't know how to sing yet. I'm close. I'm not quite there.
Sing. You don't need to learn. You just sing. I love singing karaoke. When you come to New York, we'll sing karaoke, okay?
I do sing karaoke sometimes, but like I want to write songs and play them. I play the ukulele, so I want to be able to like do my own little thing, you know?
Yeah. That's cool. So you have been many places because you've been driving, like traveling around. Name 3 places you really like.
There was a half hour or 30 minutes south of Tampa, Florida, that like there was this park, and I stayed there for 2 weeks in a tent, and it was gorgeous and amazing. And the raccoons kept like sneaking into my tent, so that was a little annoying, but adorable at the same time. Colorado has so much beauty to it. I was especially closer to Denver, but like outside of Denver, there's a lot of greenery. And I really like San Diego, California. There's what is it called? Balboa Park, is like a bunch of different like museums, if you will, and a beautiful park and so much activity. And it is just like, feels like stepping into a fairy tale. It is beautiful. So those are probably my top 3 off the top of my head.
Beautiful. So, if you want to improve, I know you're perfect, but if you want to improve one thing of yourself, which thing is that?
To communicate my dream into words that people can actually understand. That would be great, because people are like, I don't get it still. I'm like, I know. You know,
Yeah.
so whatever, I can try, and I'm still learning, but you know, it takes time to learn anything, right?
Yeah. What do you see in yourself 5 years?
So I think I'll have maybe a couple projects started for like nonprofits, hopefully a community center where people can essentially, it's like a thrift store but free, and you just take what you need, leave what you can. I hope to get something like that up, and maybe some coaching with some other leaders. Like they coach me, I coach them, vice versa. Just credibility. I think I'm looking for credibility at this point, because I do a lot of things hidden from the world where it's not documented on paper for people to be like, yeah, I believe that you're doing this stuff. I'm like this little mystical creature hiding instead, and that doesn't work in my favor.
So, do you ever consider running for officers?
I've been advised it is something I should consider by multiple people, especially since I found a lot of the solutions we need. But I would rather do something parallel outside of the system so that people don't have to get corrupted when they go into the system. And kind of like an oversight committee, if you will, of politics, because we need that.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. That's why I'm grassroots crowdfunded activist, because it's I'm still getting money like a politician would, and I'm still trying to like learn how to like market myself, but it's not from big businesses that I'm getting my money, because I don't necessarily trust how they're getting their money.
Yeah. What do you think of Andrew Yang running for New York City mayor?
I love it. I really hope he wins. I have very little faith in our political system right now, if I'm really honest. But regardless, he's getting the message out. And is he still sick with corona? Is that still a thing?
Yeah,
is he okay?
He today he should be out of quarantine. So he's been having corona for a week, maybe 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, he has a function with the Chinese community tomorrow night, 6:30, and he is spending Chinese and New Year's Eve with the Chinese people. Well, American people welcome too, but it's a post on WeChat, so I assume it's Chinese people organizing that, and it's not a fundraising. It's like, it's very rare you can see Andrew Yang without going into a fundraising event,
Right. I mean, you got a solid point there. It's hard to get a hold of him anyway, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. I actually saw him on last Wednesday night. Not in person, Zoom meeting. Yeah, he was greeting a bunch of donors.
Did you get to tell him about your documentary and ask him to watch it? Oh, good.
Yes, I did.
Yay.
Yeah, I did. So I don't know if he did watch or not, but
he's sick. He should take the time off and relax and watch your documentary.
I know. When I knew he got COVID, I texted him on Twitter. I said, now maybe you should consider watching some movie, including my film. But I don't know.
Wink.
Yeah. But I think he will get a kick out of it, when he watched my film. Yeah. So
that would be amazing. I hope it does happen.
Yeah, I hope so too. So, well, thank you so much, Faye. There's so much fun to talk with you, and I wish you the best. Yeah. And
thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna be on the road for a while, and Yeah, you just drive safely, please.
Yeah. Mid-April is probably when I'm going to slow down, and then I'll be actually back at Fort Deposit trying to do the work there. So it's not like I'm going to stop, but the traveling part will be concluded. Also, I'm supposed to not be alone when I get back to Alabama. I'm going to have a team member help me out over there, so that'll be fun.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So keep us posted of your activities, and all the best to you.
Thank you. Will do. If you check out the link tree, you can subscribe to whatever platforms you are, and I post things occasionally there. And I mainly use TikTok as like a commercial into my life, and Twitch is kind of like a season episode, if you will. So that if you want a long form kind of like what's going on. But I also don't save my Twitch videos, so if you want to watch me, you better watch me.
Okay, I'll check it out. And you tweet much?
I use Twitter, yeah. Like my Facebook is kind of like my inner circle of people, and also Yang Gang, and then Twitter is my activist friends, and then I try to use my platforms very mindfully, actually.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. All right. Well, thank you so much, and be safe. I don't know when we're gonna be getting shots, but be safe.
Thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and happy Chinese New Year. Is it Chinese New Year?
Lunar New Year. Yeah, Chinese
Lunar.
New Year.
Yeah, and then happy President's Day, happy Valentine's Day. That's all this weekend, man. All three of them, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, bye everybody, and bye Faye. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Take care.